Hello there everyone, I'm Sonic. Welcome to the movie. I'm here with some of my crew of the SMS Studios. Please welcome Fruit Punch Man 15, Vickerstown Productions, and Crisp Actor 98462. Welcome guys.
Hello Sonic.
Thanks for having us here.
Thank you so much, Sonic, for bringing us here.
Glad you're all here. Anyway, we're here to talk about the production of this movie and why it took so long.
The first reason being it had actually in debate if the movie was going to be released.
The second one was because Sonic was going to narrate the whole movie.
And the final reason was because the movie itself needed some rewrites in the script itself.
Or at least before I thought of the movie in my head. But besides those reasons, we're actually glad to finally release the film. But before we also get into it, I have allowed my guests to ask me one question. So go ahead, guys.
I'll go first, Sonic. How'd you get the idea for this movie?
Funny you mentioned that. It actually started as a TikTok video I made on Sonic's birthday on June 23rd, 2018.
Wait, on Sonic's birthday? Do you mean yours?
Sonic the Hedgehog, not this Sonic. The question I have is, why did you create Thomas's Heartbreak? Did you ever experience a heartbreak before?
Sort of. I made this movie to show how everyone deals with breakups and heartbreaks. I mean, we've all probably had a breakup or heartbreak.
After those two are done with my question, I have one as well. What's next for your channel and your content inside of it?
After this, I will be taking a week hiatus from movie making. The voice acting, however, I will still do if anyone needs the world's #1 steam engine.
Well, we wasted enough time already. We better get to our seats before the movie starts.
I'm buying the pop.
I got the drinks and the hype inside me!
Again, we thank you for waiting.
And we hope you enjoy the movie. Until next time, farewell.
Sayonara! Thomas's Heartbreak. It's a sunny day on the Island of Sodor, and every engine is working their best to make sure that the railway is reliable, cheerful, and always determined to be right on time. Of course, being on time isn't just what the engines love to do. Some like to form friendships, or beyond friendships, being together with the work of the word love. But of course, love doesn't just mean to someone. It could be like how Emily loves to take her passenger train to give Edward or James a rest. Or how Percy loves to pull the mail and that he's proud that he's the only engine that can pull it. Or how our special friend, Henry, loves to take his forest trips down the line. Or how Gordon loves to pull the express at high speeds. But there's only one engine that loves to do anything more than anyone, and it's Thomas. who loves working on his branch line. The engines love to work their best. But this isn't where our story starts. It started off like this. One day at the Farquhar sheds, the Fat Controller, or Sir Topham Hatt, was giving the engines their jobs. And this is how it began.
You all have been working very hard, and I'm proud of you. Percy, you'll be heading to the quarry. Toby, your normal passenger runs. And you, Thomas, shall be working on the other line.
Thomas was very pleased to hear this. Oh, thank you, sir. But who will I be working with? And where?
Unfortunately, Thomas, because no other engines are currently unavailable, you're going to have to work with Diesel 10 by shunting trucks in the yards.
And with that, he left. Thomas was shocked. Diesel 10?
Benji's hungry.
Oh no! I can already smell the trouble brewing. Toby then rang his bell.
Now, Thomas, I understand you and Diesel 10 have issues, but I think it's best you just ignore him and continue on with your work.
That's a lot harder than it sounds, Toby.
It might, but I say at least try. Trying doesn't hurt anyone.
Then, Percy started to speak up. Toby's right. If he wants to start something, all you need to do is ignore him. And if he doesn't stop, you can just tell Sir Topham Hatt. Thomas was nervous about working with Diesel 10, but he plucked up courage and decided he'd work with the evil Diesel. Very well. I'll do my best. I hope. And he puffed away. As Thomas made his way to the yards, he kept having bad thoughts of his past with Diesel 10, like how he was chased around the island, or how he was imprisoned at the Diesel Works while Diesel 10 took over the Steamworks, or how they stole his Christmas garland. I just hope he doesn't start anything. I know I can get through this. Just remember what Toby and Percy said. Just ignore him. Meanwhile, Thomas had made it to the yards, but he had to wait for Diesel 10. He was on the other side of the island and was on his way. Now, as we mentioned the word love, Thomas had his own love. His love was for Emily, as she pulled right alongside Thomas.
Hello there, Thomas. How are you?
I'm nervous, Emily.
Nervous? Of what, Thomas? You can tell me anything.
I'm nervous because I'm supposed to be working with Diesel 10.
How come? Is he that bad?
Him and I don't get along, and I'm worried he's gonna start something again.
Oh dear. Tell you what, Thomas. If I finish my work early, I'll come by and help you.
Thomas smiled as Emily offered to help. Really? You'd do that for me?
Of course, Thomas. What are girlfriends for?
Thank you, Emily. You're the best. And with that, Emily puffed away, whistling to Thomas goodbye. Now Thomas felt more confident now that Emily was coming to help. Now with Emily beside me, I don't have to be afraid anymore. She can be able to stand up to that big bully, and I don't need to deal with him. Thomas felt happy, knowing that Emily would be by his side. Suddenly, there was a loud horn and a purring noise. There, coming from the side of Thomas, was Diesel 10.
Hello again, Puffball. Glad to see you after so many years.
Thomas started feeling nervous even more than he originally did. Oh, Diesel 10! You're here! Diesel 10 just smirked.
What? Did you expect me to miss an opportunity to use Pinchy? That wouldn't be me, Puffball, but I advise you to keep away, otherwise you'll have a place in the scrap heap.
Of course, Diesel 10 was joking, but Thomas wasn't sure. Diesel 10's claw started chomping, trying to scare Thomas, but Thomas knew better. Let's just get this over with, said Thomas, as he puffed away to find the yard manager. Diesel 10, who was now thinking Devious once more, decided to listen to Thomas's advice and followed behind him. Soon, Thomas and Diesel 10 started working together, getting a coal train ready for Duck to take to the coaling plant. At last, the work was finished.
Well, Puffball, I must admit, you work well. For a steamy.
Though Thomas was out of breath, he thanked Diesel 10 for the compliment. Thank you, Diesel 10. I must admit, your claw has its uses to be really useful. Whew! Anyway, Emily said she'd be here about it. I'm gonna go get my water tanks refilled. I'll be right back. And with that, Thomas puffed away. Diesel 10 started thinking Devious.
Oh, that's splendid. Now I'll be doing your work as well as my own, while you and Emily sitting aside and make a lovely conversation with your girlfriend.
Suddenly, Thomas came back, but he hadn't refilled his water tankers. He was cross. What did you just say about Emily?
Oh, come on, Thomas. We all know you and Emily are in a relationship, but let's be real. Honestly, between you and me, she's not really into you. She prefers really strong engines, not tiny tank engines like yourself. I hate to tell you that, but it's the truth. The truth stings sometimes.
Diesel 10 didn't know this, but he was starting trouble. If he continued, he would see a side of Thomas no one had seen. Along the way, Emily had finished her work earlier than expected and was on her way to help Thomas.
Thomas is doing okay. I bet he's scared the edge of his buffer beam.
Or so she thought. As Emily turned the bend and entered into the yard, she noticed Thomas and Diesel 10 face to face. She thought Thomas was about to start a fight.
No, looks like Thomas in a fight. I better wait here and watch what happens.
Diesel 10, who saw that Emily was there at the entrance of the yard, looked at her and then looked back at Thomas.
Besides, Puffball, Emily's not really interested in tiny engines like you. She prefers bigger, stronger engines like Gordon or Henry, or any other kind of engine like, you'd be better off with a little engine like yourself.
Thomas, who was now furious, couldn't believe what he was hearing. You're wrong, Diesel 10. Emily loves me for who I am. You have no clue of what she wants or who she loves. Your jokes won't work on me anymore. I'm not that gullible tank engine that I was 20 years ago.
Don't think this is another one of my tricks, Puffball. You think you know what she wants and needs, but you really don't. Besides, she could be using you, and you'd be too delusional to her. But if you really want me to take it back, then prove it. Prove to me that you're strong enough. Maybe, just maybe, I'll take it back.
Now Diesel 10 had pushed Thomas to his limits, but he wanted this to happen. He knew Emily was still watching Thomas, and soon Thomas would make his mistake. You want me to show you? Alright then, how's this? And he bumped into Diesel 10. Emily had seen everything and was horrified by what she saw.
I need to stop them.
And she rushed to the two engines as Diesel 10 was bumped into the yard's buffers.
Ow!
Now Diesel 10 had seen the other side of Thomas the Tank Engine, and it wasn't good. You listen to me and listen well, you no good dirty Diesel. I understand Emily more than anyone on this island. I've been there from the very beginning when she was starting out. When she made a mistake, I reassured her and helped her, no matter what the other engines said. So don't you dare disrespect my friend again! Diesel 10 was now in a state of fear from hearing Thomas stand up for his loved one. He was terrified until...
Mr. Tank Engine, what do you think you're doing?
Emily, I was,
Holy Diesel 10, what is wrong with you?
Thomas had now realized what Diesel 10 was planning. He wanted Emily to see Thomas be the bad guy and make himself look like the victim. No, Emily, you've got this all wrong. Diesel 10 was telling lies about you, and I didn't appreciate it.
So it's okay to put on other engines or act like a big bully?
Emily, I was being,
David Thomas, I don't want to hear it. I know what I saw, and you're a very selfish engine.
Thomas couldn't believe that Emily was taking Diesel 10's side. He felt betrayed and hurt.
You okay, Diesel 10?
Yeah, I'm okay. I just can't believe Thomas would do that, just to prove he's the bigger engine.
You're lying! You kept saying that she should be with Gordon or Henry, and that I had to prove that I was willing to keep her.
I can't believe you did that. This isn't like you at all. You're no one but avoiding other engines. I'm sorry, Thomas, but we can't keep being together if you're gonna keep pushing engines around.
And with that, Emily puffed away, regretting to help what she believed was a bully tank engine. Emily, wait! It's not what you think! Diesel 10 felt victorious as he watched the two steam engines puff away.
Now with that puffball out of the way, heartbroken, now I can finally be able to get my way without being caught.
It had been a week since the island had heard of the breakup between Thomas and Emily. At Knapford Station, Gordon, Henry, James, and Percy were talking about how Thomas was coping with the breakup.
It's such a shame. Those two seemed so perfect for each other, and Emily instantly decided to call off the relationship like nothing. I hope Thomas is taking this okay. It has to be rough for him.
James just scoffed and rolled his eyes.
Personally, I think they weren't perfect. Emily expected so much from Thomas, and when he couldn't give it, she got crossed and threatened him she'd leave. I believe that Thomas could have found someone better.
Suddenly, Gordon started to speak up.
It still doesn't make a difference, James. Thomas was always there to comfort Emily when she had the worst days or nights. Like 2 weeks ago, Thomas left the sheds to go comfort Emily because she was upset about her work. But now I've noticed that Thomas has been late this entire week with his train. Percy, why is Thomas late with his train? I deserve an explanation.
Poor Percy had an expression of sadness no one had seen him have before. He was down in the dumps and about to cry.
Thomas isn't pulling his branch line runs. It's Toby. He and I have been doing his work along with ours. He's been in the shed the entire week. This breakup has gotten to him very seriously. He's been crying in the sheds all night, wishing Emily would take him back. And I'm worried for my best friend.
Now James was the one feeling sorry for Thomas. He couldn't believe that Thomas was suffering so severely.
Wait, so Thomas has been in the shed the entire time? What does he do then at all day then?
He mostly stares at some buffers next to Annie and Clarabelle and just whistles loud and sad and keeps repeating Emily's name. At night, it's worse. He keeps getting nightmares of something, but I don't know what they are.
Even Gordon was worried for Thomas.
I hope Thomas will be okay soon.
So do I.
There, coming in on platform 2, was Toby, who was 10 minutes late. He was very exhausted.
Toby, you're late by 10 minutes. What is the reason?
I am sorry about the delay, Gordon. But there's something I found out about Thomas's depressing heartbreak. It was because of Diesel 10. I was at Wellsworth. I was listening to him talk to Splatter and Dodge about how he knew Emily was there at the shunting yard and intended Thomas to bump into him. So now with him depressed, Diesel 10 said that he could get away with anything he wanted.
The engines couldn't believe what they heard. They were crossed that Diesel 10 would go that low to ruin Thomas and Emily's relationship.
Disgraceful.
Disgusting!
Despicable!
All Percy could do was stare at his buffer beam. Just then, Sir Topham Hatt stepped out of his office, and he wasn't happy.
Toby, you're 10 minutes late. I need an explanation immediately.
I'm terribly sorry, sir. But as you know about Thomas's situation, it has caused me and Percy a lot of stress.
What for?
Ever since the heartbreak, he's been in the sheds the entire time.
I see.
There's more, sir. Toby told us that it was Diesel 10 who ruined their relationship.
That Diesel. Ugh. I should have known this would have happened.
Sir Topham Hatt started thinking of what to do. He had never dealt with anything like this before, but Diesel 10 was somewhere else on the island.
Toby, I have an idea. Take me to Thomas immediately. I need to talk to him myself.
Hop in, sir. I'll take you there with the coaches. I hope this works.
And with that, Toby set off.
As do I, Toby. As do I.
Toby started traveling down Thomas's branch line with Sir Topham Hatt on board.
Are you sure you can help? Because Percy and I have been trying, and we can't get through to him.
Don't you worry about it, Toby. I'm sure I can try my best.
Toby had arrived at the Farquhar station as he saw Emily and given her a dirty look. Toby stopped at the platform, not saying a word to Emily.
Hi Toby. How's your day today?
Toby didn't say a word. He was too cross to speak to her, causing Emily to be cross as well.
You know, it's kind of rude to ignore someone when they ask you a question.
It's also rude not to believe someone who's always had your back.
Sir Topham Hatt had stepped out of Annie and walked to the other side of the station platform to see Thomas.
Can you please explain to Toby that it's rude to...
But before Emily could finish her sentence, she noticed Sir Topham Hatt wasn't listening.
Where is he going?
That was when she got her answer. There in the Farquhar sheds was a sad and lonely Thomas, looking as blue as his paintwork.
Shake a wheel, Thomas. Why are you still in the shed? You have work to be done.
Well, sir, I've been feeling down in the dumps all week.
About what, Thomas? The breakup?
Not just the breakup, sir. I've been having these bad nightmares all week, and I'm scared of it.
Well then, Thomas, go on and tell me the nightmare. It'll be just you and me.
Very well, sir. It goes like this.
And this was the nightmare that Thomas had told.
I just don't understand. How can I convince Emily that I'm not the bad guy here? I wish there was a way. Diesel 10?
Hello, Thomas. Welcome. Me and my new friend are so happy to meet you.
New friend? What are you on about? Emily? Hello there, Thomas. What? I don't get it. I thought I was your special one. Not anymore. I decided that you're no longer a use for me. You're just a tiny little tank engine who has no sense of what real girls really want. But now that I'm done talking, Diesel 10, would you kindly be rid of this pest?
It will be my honor.
Wait, what are you doing?
Something I should have done a long time ago.
What?
Farewell.
What? No!
And that's what happened, sir. Tears were flowing from Thomas's eyes. He was scared that the nightmare would be real. Sir Topham Hatt couldn't say a word. He was in deep shock of hearing Thomas's nightmare. Toby couldn't believe what he heard. He was even about to cry. Hearing Thomas's nightmare made him more worried for his best friend. All was silent at the station.
Hold up! Sorry to say this, Thomas. You're full of nothing but excuses. Stop making yourself the victim here. I saw you bump into Diesel 10. You want to make it seem like he was being a bully, and now you're here making up stories about me falling for Diesel 10. When are you going to stop this nonsense?
Now Toby's expression had gone from sad to cross. He couldn't believe that Emily had the nerve to say that Thomas's nightmare was nothing but a story to claim that he was the victim, especially while he was still in emotional pain from the breakup.
You know what, Emily? You're right. I am sorry. I'm sorry that you're nothing but a delusional sorry excuse of a steam engine. Diesel 10 was making you see and act on a false accusation that he knew you would believe him. So do us all a favor. Wake up from your little fantasy land and get your smoke box out of the sky!
Toby was shocked from hearing Thomas's outburst. He had never heard that come from the world's #1 tank engine.
I think it's best that I stay out of this. This could get messy.
Put this on me, Thomas. It's not my fault that you bumped into him. You could have handled the situation without force, but you did And unless anyone else was there to see you bump into Diesel 10 for a reason, then you should stay quiet, like a little tank engine you are.
And with that, Emily puffed away. All Thomas could do was watch her leave as he looked down at his buffer beam and started to cry.
Now, Thomas, I understand that this situation has put you to a lot of pain and stress. So tomorrow, I'm giving you a day off. And Stanley will do your work while you can recover from this drama between you and Emily.
Thank you, sir.
Now, Thomas, it's going to be okay. You'll see sooner or later that Emily isn't the right one for you. So, you don't need to be sad.
Okay, sir.
That's a good engine.
And Sir Topham Hatt left back to Toby to head back to Knapford. Soon as Emily left, there coming to the station was Percy. He was taking the mail train.
Hey, Toby. How'd it go with Thomas and Sir Topham Hatt?
Not too well, Percy. Emily was here a minute ago and called Thomas's nightmare nothing but lies, and how he's putting himself as the victim.
You're kidding!
I wish I was, Percy, but it's true. Even Thomas had an outburst.
Now Percy was cross at Emily for saying that Thomas was acting the victim when he really was.
That's it! I've had enough of that Emerald Sterling selfish steam engine. The next time I see her, I'm gonna give her a piece of my
No, Percy.
What? What uncalled fell do you mean no?
I mean, this isn't our battle to fight. We need to let Thomas and Emily deal with this on their own. Promise me if you see Emily, you'll say nothing to her.
Percy had to think about Toby's promise. Deep down, he really wanted to tell Emily off for hurting his best friend. But he also knew Toby was right. He shouldn't get involved with Thomas and Emily's situation. It was at that moment Percy made his decision.
Alright, Toby. I promise.
Thank you. Now you best get going with the mail.
Alright, Toby. I hope Thomas can recover from this heartbreak.
And with that, Percy puffed away, feeling nervous.
I hope so too, Percy. I hope so too.
After that, Toby had puffed away. Next morning, the three engines were getting ready to start the day with work. Except Thomas. He was having a day off.
How are you feeling, Thomas?
I'm feeling okay, Toby. We noticed you didn't have any nightmares. Did you stay up or something? No, Percy. I had a peaceful night. So far.
Thomas knew he had to talk to someone about Emily, but he wasn't sure who.
I'm gonna go puff around for a while.
Okay, Thomas. I think that's a perfect thing to do.
And with that, Thomas puffed away, thinking of someone who can help him out. Stanley was puffing towards the Farquhar sheds as Thomas was leaving them, and whistled hello to Thomas.
Hi, Thomas.
But Thomas didn't answer, nor did he whistle. Stanley noticed his face. He was sad.
That's strange. Why was Thomas sad? Maybe I should ask Toby and Percy. They might know the answer.
And that's what he did, just as he stopped right in front of Percy.
Hey guys, do you know why Thomas is upset?
Toby and Percy eyed each other, then back at Stanley, and explained the breakup between Thomas and Emily.
And that's why he's upset.
Oh, I see. Well, I hope we'll be okay soon.
As do I.
What are my jobs for you today, Toby?
A loco passenger run from Knapford to Farquhar.
Okay, I'll get right on it.
Meanwhile, with Thomas, he had kept on thinking about Emily's words, Diesel 10's evil trick, and the bad nightmare he had.
What is happening to me? Is it because I'm scared of her? Or I'm mad at what he did? Or just hurt because of her words? What is it? I can't think anymore.
It was hard for him to think. He had many thoughts spinning around in his boiler.
It started hurting. Thomas felt hopeless. Just then, Molly came right beside Thomas. She was taking a small goods train to be delivered to Vickerstown, sent for the mainland.
Hello, Thomas. How are you feeling?
Hello, Molly. I'm not feeling so well today.
How come? What's the matter?
It's Emily. She says that I'm the victim of our breakup.
And Thomas explained the situation about the breakup between him and Emily. She couldn't believe what she heard.
Oh my, Thomas. I'm sorry that happened to you. I wish I could help, but I have a goods train to pull. I'll see you around, though. Goodbye, Thomas.
Goodbye, Molly. And with that, Molly headed off to Vickerstown with her train, upset and sorry for Thomas. Just as Molly left, there was Edward, who wanted to see why Thomas wasn't taking his normal branch line run.
Good morning, Thomas. Why aren't you on your branch line?
I have a day off. Sir Topham had told me to recover.
Recover? Recover from what?
From Emily.
Why? What happened between you two?
Ever since the breakup, she's been being a terrible friend. Ever since Diesel 10 lied to her saying I was bullying her. Now, I've been having nightmares of an incident and she claims that I'm being the victim, when I really am the victim.
How rude of her. I'm sorry that has to happen to you, Thomas.
Thank you, Edward. But now, I just don't know what to do anymore. If she keeps this attitude up, I don't know what will happen the next time I see her. I could say or do something that could really hurt her feelings.
I see. Tell you what, Thomas. Why don't you, me and Emily, have a counseling meeting later today at her shed?
Counseling? What's that, Edward?
Counseling is when you give someone advice to another engine, or in this case, talking about what you're feeling to Emily. I understand that you are hurt, and you probably feel sad or possibly mad, but keeping it in hurts a lot more than sharing how you feel. And if you need any emotional support, I'll come and join you. How does that sound to you?
I think that'll be perfect, Edward. Thank you. But when should we start? And how will this work?
Quite simple, actually. Later on today, I will first see her and talk to her about the situation you're in. Then I'll bring you into the sheds so you can express your feelings and tell her what's been bothering you. Then we can try to find a solution and make everything better.
Alright then, Edward. Is there anything you want me to do while you're talking to Emily?
Yes, indeed. I need you to hide behind the sheds until I come and get you.
Okay, Edward. I think I can do that for you.
Alright then, Thomas. I'll see you there.
And so it was arranged. Edward would go talk to Emily, whilst Thomas was going to stay hidden and listen to the conversation as Edward headed to see Emily and start the meeting. But Thomas was still a little nervous. He didn't know if Emily would listen to him or if Edward could help, but he decided to take a breath and take the leap of faith. Meanwhile, in the sheds with Emily, she was getting her firebox started and thinking about how special she was compared to the other engines.
Great to be a top-tier engine. It makes me feel like the best there is.
Just then, Edward came into the sheds to talk to Emily.
Good morning, Emily.
Morning, Edward.
Whilst the two were about to begin, Thomas puffed to the side of the sheds, listening to the conversation.
I wanted to talk to you about Thomas and the breakup.
About it. Yeah, we broke up, and that was that. What more would you want to hear?
Well, for starters, how you felt during the aftermath. We can start with that.
Felt? Please, I'm perfectly fine. Don't need to worry.
Emily, secretly, was hurting, but didn't want to admit it.
Emily, be serious. I know you're not fine, because I know that you enjoy watching Thomas suffer. This isn't you. You're not the one to bully engines. So let me ask you, what's really hurting you?
But I don't know what.
Yes, you do. Tell me.
You're right, I'm not fine. I feel terrible. But at least I'm not whining, crying like a little purple engine and shit. It's still working because some silly little nightmare. He's not being useful. He's being really unuseless. And I couldn't care less than what he does.
It was at this moment Edward had lost patience.
Alright, that's it. I had it with your attitude, and so has Thomas. It's been difficult for him to keep focus on his work, because you were the reason he kept pushing on, even in the darkest times. You may not see it in that way, but he does use you as inspiration. Many engines have experienced heartbreaks and breakups every day of their lives. Some engines believe that it's their right choice, but soon instantly regret their choice, feeling as it isn't right to let your loves go. Others believe it's for the best in their lives to separate and continue with their lives. And then there are those who can't take it anymore. Even Thomas, who is still heartbroken, wanted to change the way he looks. Because you expected so much from him when he could only give so little.
Emily soon felt sorry for Thomas, but then remembered what he did and became cross once again.
May explain his heartbreak, but still doesn't give him the right to bump into Diesel 10. I saw him bump into him, and he even said Thomas was bullying him. That's not the type of boyfriend I want.
This made Thomas really cross after hearing Emily say that, and he puffed off towards the shed to give her a piece of his angered mind. Now Edward was starting to lose patience even more. He was trying to keep his cool, so he stayed silent.
Yeah, exactly, no comment. Just like anyone else who was there when it happened. Oh wait, no one else was there, so that also proves my point.
Edward was keeping his focus on Emily to barely notice Thomas, who was about to enter into the shed and do something he had never done before, right as he was about to enter into the shed.
This little talk left you speechless? Good. Now I'm gonna be really useful engine. Ow!
Edward was shocked and surprised. Emily was dizzy and didn't see who bumped her. There was only one engine there who would bump Emily, and it was Thomas, who was very cross. So what? Because I'm hurt, it's okay to puff all over me? Or how you only saw that I bumped him? Or that you're foolish enough to even believe him? He was playing a trick on you the entire time, and you were dumb enough to believe him. I tried telling you my side of the story of what really happened, but you didn't let me explain at all. You were only going on about how selfish I was, or how you wanted someone who didn't push engines around. You once had someone special to go to, and now you've lost him. After hearing him raise his voice, Thomas was indeed very cross. Now Emily was scared of Thomas from his anger.
Thomas? You mean you were...
Yes, I have. And you know what?
What?
Don't come crying to me anymore, because you've lost your chances of being my girlfriend. Emily could now see the fury in Thomas's eyes. Edward saw them too, and noticed this wasn't how Thomas normally was when he was cross.
Oh my, I've never seen him like this before.
Now Thomas was ready to do something he had never done before. All I ever tried to do was help you be really useful, and here you are, being useless to me. You'll never understand how I'm feeling, nor will you ever understand. So goodbye, I'm done. And Thomas puffed away without another word.
Thomas, wait! I'm sorry. Edward, please help me. What did I do wrong?
Edward just sighed and explained what really hurt Thomas and why he really was the victim.
It seems you finally understand his pain, Emily. When you told Thomas that he was selfish in playing victim, it hurt him the same way it hurt losing someone you loved the most. Thomas was always helping you with many things in the past, but now you barely remember them, and you have said some things that you should have said, and that's why Thomas is cross. Words do hurt, Emily. Once spoken, you can't take them back, no matter how many times you say sorry.
Emily now knew what to do.
Emily, are you ready to officially know the truth?
Yes, I am, Edward.
Little did anyone know that an engine was being brought to Sodor, all the way from America. Cranky was bringing her onto the rails.
Salty, we got a new engine coming to work on Sodor.
Army archives, bring her on land.
The new engine was small, but had no face. She was the colors magenta and gold, with the name Lady written on her sides.
Oi, matey, welcome to the Island of Sodor. I be Salty, the dockside diesel. What be of your name?
But the engine said nothing, as she was faceless.
Mearty, can you hear me?
What are you, blind? She's faceless. She can't speak, let alone try.
You're no need to be rude, Mearty. I was just trying to give a friendly greeting to a new engine.
Whilst the two were arguing about the new engine, she had just puffed away, all on her own, just as Stepney pulled in with a goods train of coal cars meant for the mainland.
Why are you guys arguing?
Salty's talking to the new engine that's here, but she's faceless, so she can't talk.
What new engine? Is she invisible or I just can't see her?
Both Salty and Cranky had gasped and realized she was gone.
Shiver me axles! The lass has gone starboard and has vanished. Yar, that reminds me of a story.
Ugh, not another one.
Meanwhile, Diesel 10 was on his way to Brenham Docks to help out with the other engines who were there.
when he saw the new engine puffing right past him. When he saw who it was, he was furious.
No! No! She's back. This is the last time I try to take her out. Don't worry, Pidgey. It won't last long.
After yelling at Emily, Thomas had puffed away to be alone, thinking about what he did to Emily, and if he had went too far. Thoughts were spinning around into his boiler as he asked himself a lot of questions and hoped everything would be better for his sake and hers. He started to think even more.
I can't believe I did that! Why did I do that to her? I know I was angry at her, but to scream at her and yell? That wasn't me. But she doesn't understand. It's always blame you. And why do you lie? What do I do now?
As Thomas was approaching Gordon's Hill, he started to think of places where he could be alone to clear his mind. At that moment, he knew where to go. Yeah, I think I'll go there. I hope it'll be okay. And with that, Thomas had puffed away, all the way to the Wellsworth station, to think of what to do next. As Thomas made it to the entrance of Wellsworth station, he puffed onto a nearby siding, where Henry had stayed long ago when he was in his old shape and couldn't pull a passenger train. There he decided to think, looking down at the buffers below him. While Thomas was alone in the sidings, Gordon was coming along with an express train, rushing by at fast speeds.
I am the fastest and best, and I pull the express. Look at me go! Look at me go!
The coaches hummed along with Gordon as he thundered down the line. His next stop would be at Wellsworth Station, where he would soon meet Thomas.
Express coming through!
At last, Gordon had arrived at Wellsworth Station with 10 minutes to spare.
Ha ha ha! I've done it on time and 10 minutes early. That is how the express should run.
That was when Gordon had caught the sight of something from the side of his eye, or someone. There in the sidings, on the other side of the station, was Thomas, who was strangely silent. It was at this moment Gordon decided to see if Thomas was okay, so he puffed over to him. Once he was on the other side of the station, Gordon puffed up right beside Thomas to see what was the matter.
Hello, Thomas. What's the matter?
Gordon, I feel like I did something bad.
Something bad? What do you mean, Thomas?
Edward, Emily, and I were having a little meeting earlier today, and Emily kept telling Edward that I was playing the victim, that I pushed Diesel 10 for no reason. After hearing her say that, I got really mad, and I bumped into her and started yelling at her, out of pure anger, and telling her that I was finished with her drama. And then I just stormed off.
Goodness, Thomas, that doesn't sound like you at all. But I do understand why you reacted that way.
You do, Gordon? How?
Toby told me what really happened that day, and it turns out Diesel 10 really wanted Emily to watch you bump into him, so it would make her believe you were a bad engine.
But then,
why do I still feel like one? Gordon took a deep breath and began giving Thomas words of wisdom as Thomas listened very carefully.
Thomas, whenever you feel like you're a bad engine or make bad decisions, that's because you believe a label that someone puts upon you. I understand you are doing the right thing and standing up for Emily, but don't let her get under your smoke box. If she continues to believe you're a bad engine, then she's not the right engine to be around. I know you still care for her deep down, but it's for the best if you stay away from her.
Thomas stared down at his buffer beam as Gordon's words flew into his funnel. He was putting a lot of thought into what he heard from the most boastful engine. Finally, he responded, "Do you think I'm a really useful engine, Gordon?" Gordon just smiled.
Thomas the Tank Engine, you are a really useful engine, but most of all, you are our #1 steam engine. Never forget your title.
And with that, Gordon had to puff away, back to his coaches, as the express was about to leave for the next station. As Gordon puffed away with the express, Thomas started thinking of what Gordon had said. He knew Gordon was right. He shouldn't believe what anyone tells him. He knew that he was Sodor's #1, and that could never change. As day went to night, Thomas decided to stay in the siding until the morning. It was dangerous to puff down the line when trains were running at night, so he fell asleep until he heard an unfamiliar whistle. Hello? Who's there? Percy? Toby? There, as she was passing Thomas, was the new engine, as she was puffing around the island. Now Thomas was confused. Sir Topham Hatt never mentioned anything about a new engine coming to the island, but he was too tired to question the engine's random appearance and fell asleep.
Do not fear, Thomas the Tank Engine. Everything will be okay.
Huh? Who's that talking? Molly? Hey! Wait a minute! I want to talk to you! I'm just curious.
Greetings, Thomas the Tank Engine. I am the magical engine, but you don't seem to remember me, do you?
A magical engine? What's a magical engine?
I can produce gold dust my magic, to bring life and travel around. You should remember, Thomas. You helped me before.
I did? When?
20 years ago, when Diesel 10 was after me. Allow me to show you, Thomas.
What? Show me what?
Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle.
So that you didn't forget about magic. It's safe inside you.
This is your shining time too.
I hope so. Lady, little engines can do big things. You're a really helpful engine. And the help of the job brings to life the magic in all of us.
Next morning, Thomas somehow ended up back at the Farquhar sheds, but he was still asleep, just as Toby was getting ready to take his first train. Suddenly, Thomas started to wake up with a yawn when he realized where he was. Wait, I'm at Farquhar? How did I get here? And who was that engine? I remember her, but what was her name? Oh well, I better get to work then, as he puffed off to find Annie and Clarabelle. As Thomas collected Annie and Clarabelle, they started to ask him questions. They asked him where he was last night and how he got back along with what happened with Emily. But Thomas didn't even know how to answer these questions. At least, not on his own.
At least tell us what happened. Yes, please, Thomas, tell us.
I don't know, Annie and Clarabelle. All I remember was a faceless engine was there. She looked like she was of her own class of an engine.
A faceless engine? How is that possible? Maybe the engine was built from a different railway?
Unlikely, Clarabelle, because even at the Great Railway Show, there were engines who had faces, and they were from different countries. Even a 440 I met in America. But the engine also said that I remembered seeing her before, 20 years ago. But that's impossible. The only engine I remember 20 years ago was Diesel 10. And not even he was magical. Just a big bully Diesel. Maybe there's something I'm missing. But what is it?
Thomas?
Maybe she had a class. No, she was a custom-built engine.
Thomas!
Sorry, Annie. Did you say so? It's you!
Yes, it is, Thomas.
So it wasn't a dream?
Kind of. I led you back to your shed.
How? Before he asked, the magical engine puffed away. So he followed her. Hey! Wait, please! With that, the chase was on, and Thomas wasn't going to give up. I have to know who she is, and why she's here. I must know! Thomas began pumping his pistons to catch up to the new engine, hoping to get answers. But she was fast and very far away from Thomas. But as the new engine puffed on the siren, she disguised herself in gold dust, just as Thomas passed by. Oh, bother! I lost her!
It's good to see you again, Thomas the Tank Engine. Soon, your lady will reunite with you.
Though he wasn't successful in finding out the engine, Thomas had made it to Crosby, the next stop of his branch line.
Dang! I was so close to catching her!
But how did she do that? Just then, Emily puffed up to the station.
Oh, Thomas.
Thomas stared at Emily angrily.
I'm not talking to you, Emily. I have a branch line to run.
And he puffed away from her.
Thomas, I'm sorry. I really am. Now I really messed up.
Emily was hurt by this and was planning to apologize to Thomas. Even Annie and Clarabelle couldn't believe what they heard.
Thomas, what was that about? She was probably going to say she was sorry.
Well, I can't forgive her. At least, not yet. And Thomas made his way to Wellsworth without another word. It was hard for him to forgive Emily as Thomas arrived at Wellsworth Station, still thinking of the bad things she did to him. Huh! Why should I forgive someone who hurts me, especially someone like Emily? As Thomas was keeping to himself, Arthur had arrived with a train of fish.
Hello, Thomas. How are you today?
What do you care, you fish-loving freak? Stay out of my business! Arthur was shocked by Thomas's outburst. It wasn't like him to yell at Arthur.
Geez, Thomas. That's not like you at all. What happened to you?
Thomas sighed and stared down at his buffers. I'm sorry, Arthur. I didn't mean to yell at you. I'm just not myself today.
Oh my. What happened, Thomas?
Well, it started like this. And Thomas explained everything that happened, including the breakup with Emily, the nightmares he had, and how he yelled at Emily for saying he was playing the victim. Arthur was shocked by hearing this. And that's what happened. Now I don't know what to do anymore.
Oh dear. Well, honestly, Thomas, I understand why you acted that way.
You do? Then Arthur smiled at Thomas to show support to his blue friend.
Of course, Thomas. In my personal opinion, you should take a break and stay away from Emily and focus on yourself. It'll help you heal your pain and keep you good mental health. Now, I know that task may sound difficult, but you would have done things not even big engines like Gordon can do. Always remember, you're a really useful engine even when heartbreaks happen. Somewhere down the line, you'll find someone better.
Thomas was silent. The words from Arthur were keeping his thoughts running faster than anything in the world. He knew Arthur was right. Somewhere down the line, he could find someone else to love and support. But he didn't know who. Do you think so, Arthur? Do you really think I can find someone better?
I can't answer that, Thomas. Only you can answer that question yourself.
And with that, Arthur puffed away, carrying a train of fish for the station markets around the island, leaving Thomas on his own to think more and more about what to do. Well, maybe Arthur does have a point.
What about Thomas?
Maybe I can find someone better. Someone who I can look up to. I just gotta find the right person. Thomas then set off on his branch line. While puffing down his branch line, Thomas was making his way to a level crossing. It was close to the station, so Bertie could drop off passengers. The gates were closed, however, so a road vehicle could pass by. There, waiting for the right-of-way, was George the Steamroller, and he didn't look too happy to see Thomas. Hello, George.
What do you want?
Jeez, I was only saying hello.
I don't care. Railways are no good. Turn them in the road. Pull them up. Turn them in the roads.
There's no point in arguing with him.
We do agree He's definitely rude. We do agree he's definitely rude.
And Thomas puffed away to Maythwaite Station. Thomas was now finished with his branch line, as Percy would take the train back. Now Thomas was headed to Farquhar Station to see Sir Topham Hatt. He had an important job for him. There, walking beside Thomas, was Sir Topham Hatt himself.
Hello, Thomas. How are you feeling?
I'm well, sir. Thank you.
That's good. I need you to work at the quarry. Mavis needs your help urgently. Rosie will be there to take a train of gravel and stone, and Bill and Ben can't do it on their own.
No problem, sir. I'll go and help.
That's a good engine. Now hurry and be on your way, Thomas. This is an urgent job.
Yes, sir. Oh, while you're here, do you know anything about a magic engine?
A magic engine? I don't think I have, Thomas, but I'll find some information that I'll know about them.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome, Thomas. Now you better get going. The train must be ready at tea time,
said Sir Topham Hatt, as he walked into the Farquhar office to find some information about the magic engine. Thomas pumped his pistons and set it off to the quarry. At last, Thomas had arrived at the entrance of the Farquhar Quarry. Just as Mavis sped down the line to meet Thomas, she was glad he was here to help. She waited whilst Thomas had stopped right beside her.
Hello there, Thomas. I'm so glad you're here.
Hello, Mavis. I hear from Sir Topham Hatt that you needed my help.
Indeed, we do. We need a train of gravel and stone to be ready. But we need help.
I'm ready to help, Mavis.
Thank you, Thomas. We can really use the extra help.
I'm on it. And Thomas puffed off to start work. At last, the work was done. Rosie then took the train all the way to the docks. Everyone was glad they finished the train, but everyone was exhausted. Even Bill and Ben.
Great work, everyone. We deserve a rest,
she said as she drove away, and drove right underneath the coaling chute to have a rest.
So what now?
I'm gonna have a drink.
Okay, Thomas, see you later.
And Thomas puffed away to find a water tower. last, Thomas had made it to the water tower when something was about to happen.
Whoa! What's happening? Why is the sky darkened? Wait! That whistle! I've heard it before! It's the magical engine!
Not just any magical engine.
Whoa! You're back! Why are you here? Please, tell me!
I know you're suffering inside your boiler, Thomas. But I know someone will truly care for you.
I'm sorry. I don't understand you.
I said, do not be afraid, Thomas the Tank Engine. I know you are suffering inside your boiler, but I know someone will truly care for you. Someone like me.
You mean you like me?
Indeed, Thomas. I know you need someone special to love. So I will be your special engine.
You really mean it? Because Emily expected so much from me. And when I couldn't give it, she would get cross and threaten that she'd leave.
Thomas, all I ask for you is to be yourself. You don't need to pretend to be something you're not. You just be really useful.
Wow. Thank you. What is your name? Sorry, it's been a while.
Lady. My name is Lady.
Lady? That's a beautiful name, Lady.
Thank you. Goodbye, Thomas.
Thomas? Thomas? Thomas?
Huh?
Get out of the way, little Thomas. You're blocking the line, and the express must be on time.
Oh, sorry, Gordon. I didn't mean to block the way.
And Thomas moved out of the way.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, Gordon?
Yes, Thomas?
How do you know if an engine wants to be there for you, even in the darkest of times?
Simple, little Thomas. When you're down and out, they'll come and comfort you. Even when you don't need it, they'll want to be there for you and cherish you like a special engine. Why do you ask?
Thomas was too nervous to say that Lady, a magical engine from 20 years ago, liked him. Just wondering. That's all, I guess. Thomas wasn't sure if any engine would believe him, so he didn't mention Lady at all. That day, Thomas had a lot to think about. He started questioning if he should tell the other engines about Lady and how she liked him, but he was too scared. I'll wait till I'm ready. I just need time.
But he wasn't alone. Emily also had a lot to think about. She was mostly concerned with Thomas, despite her saying he was playing the victim.
Sorry for Thomas. I want to apologize, but he has such a grudge against me.
Suddenly, Diesel appeared beside Emily with a devious plan.
Sorry to disappoint you, Emily, but it seems Thomas is going back to his own ways.
What are you talking about?
I heard Thomas say that he doesn't need you, that you're worthless and pathetic. He also said that he's happy without you. So long.
And he drove away, leaving behind Emily. Now, Emily was cross.
That little tank engine, that's it! The next time I see him, I'll slam into the buffer so hard, Thomas Savers are gonna feel it. I'll show him! I'll show him!
and she puffed away angrily. While Emily was feeling furious and angry, Thomas felt a lot better knowing that someone really did care about him. He was puffing along the line to Knapford to be really useful. He was a bit nervous. He didn't know whether to forgive Emily or give Lady a chance to be his girlfriend. He needed time to think about it. As he puffed away to Knapford Station to see if he can talk to Sir Topham Hatt about what to do. Thomas was waiting patiently for Sir Topham Hatt to arrive so he could ask him a question, but he never showed up. Thomas was starting to get worried. I wonder where the Fat Controller could be. Maybe he's coming back from a different station. So Thomas continued to wait as he hummed a tune to himself. Just as Thomas was waiting, a workman walked out of one of the rooms.
"Hello, Thomas. What are you doing here?"
he asked. "Oh, hello, sir. I was wondering where Sir Topham Hatt might be. Is he in his office?"
"Sorry, Thomas. He's at Marin Station for paperwork. But I'll let him know that you need to see him," said the workman.
"Thank you, sir."
"No problem, Thomas," replied the workman, as he walked off, continuing his work.
Just as Thomas waited for Sir Topham Hatt, there was Alfred, coming in with a goods train.
"Hello there, Thomas."
"Hello there, Alfred. Where are you off to?"
"I'm headed to Kirk Ronan to deliver this goods train."
"Oh, I see. I wish I can help, but I'm waiting for Sir Topham Hatt."
"I understand. By the way, be careful if I were you. Emily's looking for you, and she's not happy."
"How come?"
"I don't know, but something's bothering her. I must go now. Farewell."
Now Thomas was confused. If Emily was cross, what was the cause of it? And why would she be after Thomas? That doesn't make sense at all. Thomas tried to think until...
The tank engine!
There was Emily, and she didn't look very happy as she stopped right beside Thomas. Hi, Emily.
Don't you hi, Emily, me, you little weasel!
What is wrong with you?
No, calling me pathetic or useless? You are really a jerk, or do you just not care?
What are you talking about? I never called you those names. I've been busy all day.
Expect me to believe your lies?
Emily explained what Diesel had told her while she was at Kirk Ronan. You'd really believe I'd say that?
Diesel told me!
Thomas thought Emily was just going mad. Emily, I don't know what you're talking about. I never said those things, and I think you need help. And Thomas puffed away, leaving behind a ticked-off Emily.
Oh no, don't think you're getting out of this on. Get back to your line, Steamy!
Now the chase was on. Now Thomas was really scared. He had never seen Emily like this before, knowing that she would try to hurt him. He continued on till he knew he was safe, but how far would he go till Emily had given up? Cinders and ashes! I'm scared! Someone, please help me! Thomas was so scared he was about to cry. Thomas, trying hard to get away from Emily. She was catching up real quick. Suddenly, Birdie heard Thomas's whistle. He knew it sounded scared.
Thomas, what's going on?
Birdie could see Emily chasing Thomas. Birdie, help me, please!
Oh my goodness! Hang on, Thomas! I got you!
At that moment, everything happened all at once.
Birdie revved his engine and drove towards Emily and made her derail. Luckily, no one was hurt, but Emily had realized what she did. She looked out into the open as the sight of Thomas puffing away, scared from his smoke box. Emily now didn't know what to do as she waited for the breakdown train. Thomas, on the other hand, was now very terrified as he rushed somewhere that Emily wouldn't find him. He rushed all the way to Tiffany's sheds and hid in the shed. All he could do was stare down at his buffer beam and watch the tears fall. Just then, Henry came into the sheds. He was surprised to see Thomas.
Thomas, what are you doing here?
Hiding.
Hiding? From who? Is everything okay?
Soon, Thomas started to cry. Henry was concerned for his friend.
From Emily! She started chasing me, and I got scared, and Henry couldn't believe what Thomas had said. He was shocked to believe that Emily would chase Thomas.
Thomas, tell me what happened from the beginning.
Emily said that Diesel had been saying untruthful things about me, and she started chasing me. And Birdie crashed into her, and I ran away.
Oh my goodness! I guess James was right about this.
Even Donald and Douglas were surprised. Ah, wee lad, I feel sorry for you. Ha, guy. Same here, Thomas. No engine should go through that drama, especially an engine like yourself. While everyone kept Thomas in comfort, Edward was coming back to the sheds from taking a small passenger train. Edward was about to turn around when Henry came out of the shed. He did not look too happy.
Hello, Henry. What's wrong?
It's Thomas. He's scared.
Scared? Why? What happened?
Henry explained everything that Thomas had told him. As Edward listened, his face was scared and nervous.
Oh my, this isn't good. I even talked to Emily about this.
According to Thomas, Diesel had a part of this too. He told Emily that Thomas said she was worthless and pathetic, along with a few other words.
Oh jeez, where's Thomas right now?
He's in the shed, right next to me.
Bring him out there. I'll move up the turntable so Thomas can turn around.
All right, Edward.
After everything was set, Edward looked at Thomas and started to speak.
Thomas, how do you feel?
Scared.
I see. Tell me, why do you feel this way? I know why, but I want to hear from you.
So Thomas explained everything that happened, with Emily chasing him down the entire island, along with Diesel's stories that he told Emily, and something she said during the chase. Thomas was hesitant to say it, but both engines were there to support and comfort him. So Thomas spoke up.
She even said that she would couple me up, and she and Diesel 10 would throw me into the dockyard ocean and leave me there to rust, as she would make me feel tortured.
Excuse me, what?
Edward was shocked and couldn't believe what he heard. Even Henry was shocked about it.
Oh my goodness! Why would she ever say that? That's terrible!
I don't know, but she was very angry and wouldn't believe anything I told her. I said that Diesel was lying and she shouldn't listen to him, but apparently I'm still at fault.
Edward was now feeling sorry for Thomas and couldn't believe what Emily was putting him through.
Don't worry, Thomas. Me and Henry will be right here to help you.
Suddenly, coming from beside the shed, in the distance, there puffing down the track, was Percy, carrying Sir Topham Hatt on board. He had come to speak to Thomas, but for a different reason, and it wasn't a good one.
Thomas, what's this I hear that you and Emily were racing down the line at high speeds?
Sir, it wasn't Thomas's fault. It was Emily's.
Emily?
Yes, sir. Thomas told us himself.
And Edward started to explain what Thomas had told them. Sir Topham Hatt was very surprised.
Oh my. Thomas, is this true?
Thomas didn't say anything, but Sir Topham Hatt already knew the answer.
I see. Well, Thomas, tomorrow, you and Emily will meet at Alfred. We'll have our little meeting and see if we can somehow fix this. I will have a word with Diesel about his rumors and see what he has planning. If he did this to hurt you intentionally, he shall be punished. Edward and Henry, both of you can take care of Thomas at the moment. He deserves a good rest. He will stay with you both. Duck can sleep at Farquhar.
Yes, sir.
And that was that. Thomas was going to sleep at Titmuth's sheds for the night, and after explaining what he was going to say to Diesel, Sir Topham Hatt had set off, on board Percy, to go and find him. Meanwhile, Duck and Diesel were shunting in the yards, whilst Edward was away.
Beg pardon, Diesel. Are you shunting these trucks on the wrong siding?
Excuse me, what are you talking about?
You put the vans in the siding where the trucks are meant to be.
I don't need to take advice from you, you silly steamy. We are revolutionary.
Yes, I get it. You're Revro, whatever you call it. You don't have to constantly say that.
Revolutionary. How hard is it to say that?
Before Duck could answer that question, there was Percy and Sir Topham Hatt. He exited from Percy's cab and onto the station platforms. He walked to Diesel and gave him some stern words, and Diesel was ashamed of his actions.
Hello, George.
Bugger off, Skinny.
Jeez, I only said hello.
What's his problem, Mr. Oliver?
Honestly, I stopped asking that question years ago.
Hello there, George.
Who the Cody fella are you?
Your new best friend. If you play your cards right, of course.
Cards? What kind of cards? I don't know, maybe goldfish.
Or maybe Blackjack. Blackjack? Yeah, or the original name, 21. Who names a game with a number?
Oh, pipe down, you two. Anyway, Georgie.
Don't call me that.
I can help make your wildest dreams come true.
I'm listening.
Diesel 10 had decided to explain to George that he would destroy all the steam engines and allow George to destroy the rails. This made George really happy.
Would you like that? Eh?
Yes.
Then shut up and listen. I need you to destroy every pair of buffers this island has, on every siding.
Why can't you do it? This is your plan after all.
Do you really want to question me right now, George? Because I have no hesitation on destroying everyone you love.
But I hate all of you.
So then why go against me? After all, we both have something we want.
Okay. How many buffers you want to go?
All of them! All of them.
Bye, I guess.
Goodbye, Georgie, and remember what I said.
George was more confused as Diesel 10 made arrangements for a meeting.
Ow, hey! Watch what you're doing! It wasn't my fault. Yes, it was. Was not. Was
You know,
too.
when they were
not,
handing out
was too,
sidekicks,
was
I was
not,
probably
was
taking
too,
a nap
was
and
not,
didn't
was
notice
too,
our
was
pair
not,
of quicks.
was too, was not, was too, was not, was too, was not, was too.
Meanwhile at Maverick Station, James was waiting patiently at Platform 5 with a small passenger train. He was to take his train all the way to Wellsworth Station. Just as Rosie came in, she looked very worried.
James! Did you hear what happened to Thomas?
I thought more like, and Thomas looked really scared.
This made Rosie even more worried.
Thomas was scared? Oh my! I wonder why he was scared.
I saw Thomas, Edward, and Henry on my way here. I heard Thomas say something about Diesel 10 and Emily. Didn't sound good at all.
Boko explained what he heard, and this made Rosie feel very scared now. She was surprised that Emily would talk like that, especially about Thomas.
Oh my, why would she do that? I mean, sure, Thomas may be cheeky, but not even I would do that.
Hope to keep themselves safe.
From what I can guess, Rosie, apparently Emily believes that Thomas is playing the victim from the breakup.
I personally believe that Thomas will be okay as long as we show that we're here for him.
Honestly, all this talk about Thomas's heartbreak is bad for my swerves.
I think we can be there for Thomas. He's been there for us when we in need of help. Now it's time that we return the favor.
Everyone knew Fergus was right as they blew their whistles and honked their horns. They were a team for Thomas. Later that night, Diesel 10 was right beside the old abandoned mine, just as Splatter and Dodge rolled up next to him.
Come in, Splodge. We're having another meeting.
Another meeting? We haven't been back in 20 years. Anyways, boss, what did you need from us at this time?
Well, Splodge, hey, wait a minute. Where's George?
Right here, don't get your claw in a twist.
Pinchy, if you please. Anyway, that little blue puffball ruined my plan to get rid of the lost engine.
Who, Thomas?
Oh no, it's Gordon and Edward. Of course it's Thomas, you fool!
And what do you want us to do?
Well, Splodge, you two are gonna help me. Help me get back at that puffball and kill the lost engine.
Kill? You mean hurt?
Destroy is another word for it.
So what are you gonna do? Yeah.
As I said once before, it's time to put Twinkle Toes lights out.
What is that voice I'm hearing? It sounds familiar. But who?
There she is, Splodge.
You mean that purple and yellow engine?
Yes, we shall strike tomorrow. And you know why?
I'm scared to know.
This is a job for the boss! Now, I'll see you three tomorrow. I have other business to attend to.
We'll see you tomorrow, sir. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow.
Whatever. I don't care.
The next day, Thomas had made it to Knapford Station. There was Emily waiting for Thomas, and she wasn't happy.
About time. You took forever.
Thomas just said nothing as he waited. There, coming out of his office, was Sir Topham Hatt.
Now, it seems you two had some conflict with each other. The only way that we can solve this is talking about the problem. Emily, you may go first.
Sadly, I'm just tired of Thomas always making instead of being a victim. He bumped to Diesel 10 and claims he's been getting nightmares from a breakup. I easily got over.
I see. Thomas, anything you want to say?
Like he has anything to say. But fine, Thomas. Enlighten me. Speak your mind.
Thomas was now cross. That's it! I've had it with you, Emily. I'm sick of you always believing what you want to see. You've been believing lies that Diesel 10 and Diesel have been saying. I'm tired, I'm angry, and annoyed of you. Emily went from mad to sad. She was surprised to see Thomas's anger shoot out like a rocket.
What are you saying?
You heard me. All you've ever done was threaten to leave me, get mad at me when I couldn't give you everything and made me feel small. I'm done, Emily. You want to find someone special and threaten to leave them if they don't give you what you want? Go ahead. I couldn't care less. Emily, who was now at loss for words, couldn't believe how Thomas really felt. She wanted to say she was sorry, but Thomas wasn't listening. Did you know how it is to be there when the other engines were bullying you? I actually cared and stood up for you, but it seems you couldn't do that for me. I guess Diesel 10 was right. You were only using me. And Thomas, who was feeling upset, puffed away to be alone. As for Emily, she had lost now her friend for good. Thomas had puffed next to Birdie's garage, waiting for the line to be clear, trying to think of something else. Just then, Birdie came in, driving up to Thomas. He had finished his work early.
Hello there, Thomas.
Hello, Birdie.
You okay, Thomas? You don't look so happy.
It's Emily. I'm tired of her completely.
Oh dear. Tell me what happened.
I'm tired of everything she's put me through. Thomas then explained everything that Emily had done to him. All the drama, the fights, and even when she chased him over something Diesel had said. Birdie was indeed surprised.
Oh my word. Well, I'm glad I derailed her, despite not knowing what was happening.
I thank you for that, Birdie, but I just can't deal with her. I'm mentally tired and I don't want her back.
I don't blame you, Thomas. If there was a bus that did all that to me, I probably would have distanced myself from her.
No, Birdie, not distance. I'm done with her completely. She wanted a breakup, she got it. Let another engine deal with her.
Oh, I see. So where are you off to now?
Somewhere that I can rest and think.
There's a siding near Wellsworth. You can go there.
Is it somewhere I can be alone?
It's next to the abandoned scrapyard. No one goes to it anymore.
Thanks, Birdie. I'll go check it out.
No problem, Thomas. Hope you'll be okay.
I hope so, too. And with that, Thomas puffed away to the scrapyard. Meanwhile, with Emily, she couldn't believe that Thomas said he was through, just as Percy puffed in with a line of coal cars.
Hey, Emily. What's with you?
It's Thomas. I think I made him mad.
Please tell me you're joking, right? Percy was annoyed at Emily. She couldn't believe she was asking if she made Thomas mad.
No? Why?
You're the reason he's mad. All you've ever done is hurt him mentally because of the Diesel 10 incident. You expect so much from him and threaten that you'd leave, and you're gonna sit here and ask if Thomas is mad. I'm mad if you're even asking that. I can't tell if you're delusional or just stupid.
But Percy, please, you must understand.
I'm not interested anymore, Emily. You made your decision, and it was a poor one. Goodbye, Emily. Emily was surprised that Percy was that angry. Things weren't going her way now. As Thomas continued on his way to the abandoned scrapyard, he had to stop at the Ellsbridge station to let his mind clear. He could only think of Emily and hearing her say bad things in his head. Why can't I get her out of my head? It's like she's attacking me mentally. Just then, puffing nearby, was Toby, who had arrived with Henrietta.
Hello, Thomas. How's it going?
Not well, I'll tell you that. Thomas then explained what he told Emily and how he finally agreed about their breakup.
Oh my, Thomas. I am sorry that happened to you.
You know what, Toby? Don't be. She got what she deserved.
But Thomas, don't you feel a little upset or at least feeling down on the dumps? I understand you're mad, but surely you still care about Emily, don't you?
Huh. Why should I? She never cared about my feelings. All she ever cared about were the bigger engines. She never listened to me, nor believed in what I had to say. She can go enjoy herself with Diesel 10 for all I care.
Thomas, two wrongs don't make a right, yes. She hurt you, mentally and emotionally. But understand she could be going through trauma as well.
Sorry, Toby, but I don't believe that, because she keeps mentioning that she can get over our little breakup. So let's see her and try and get through this one. Toby had noticed that Thomas was starting to act like he did back when Alfred came back to Sodor with Hazel.
Thomas, what has happened to you?
Everything, Toby. I'm tired of being treated like a toy. It hurts to know that someone never really cared about how I felt or bothered to ask how I'm feeling. You wouldn't know, because you've never been on my rails. I get you all want to help, but you can't. At least not yet, anyway. And he puffed away, leaving behind a concerned Toby, who felt very worried for Thomas.
Oh, Thomas. I know deep down you're hurt, but your anger is getting to you.
Don't mind him, Toby. Thomas is just angry. I'm sure he'll be better.
I can't say the same for Percy.
There, puffing beside Toby, was a very angry Percy.
Oh my, Percy. What's with you?
It's Emily. She's really getting me angry.
She had the nerve to ask if she was the reason Thomas was mad.
Poor Percy here got really mad, alright.
He blew a fuse and told her off.
What?
Whoops.
I don't think he was supposed to know that.
You say that
now! Percy, you made a promise that you wouldn't say anything to her.
Now, hang on, Toby. Maybe Percy had a good reason for ignoring your promise.
And it was a good reason, Henrietta. Because you and I, Toby, both can agree that Emily has been stuck up in her little fantasy. So someone had to break it to her that Thomas wasn't coming back.
Toby had realized Percy was right.
Alright, Percy. I hope Thomas will be okay.
I personally believe that Thomas will be okay. After all, he's the world's #1 steam engine. I'm sure he'll be okay.
Bet you something's gonna happen to Thomas.
Huh, I doubt it, mate.
Meanwhile, with Thomas, he had found his way to the old abandoned scrapyard. There, he found the sidings, where he decided to rest his wheels and clear his head. There was a lot going on in his mind, and they weren't good thoughts, so Thomas wanted to be by himself. He kept seeing Emily in his head and hearing her words scream non-stop. Thomas didn't know what to do with himself, as the other engines had seen him in the sidings as they did their work. They felt sorry for Thomas and hoped he'd be okay with his heartbreak and would wish him the best of luck in the future. They whistled to him as they passed by him, wishing him the best of rest. Some would even stay by him and try to talk to him about his problems, on what Thomas could do to help himself feel better. Until one engine decided to come up to Thomas, with surprisingly no devious tricks up his rails. There was Diesel, and he was thinking of something to help Thomas.
Hello there, Thomas. How are you feeling?
I don't know, Diesel. I'm feeling mixed emotions about Emily. On one hand, I'm sad for hurting her feelings, but on the other hand, I'm furious because she'll never understand how I feel. I just wish someone could help me figure out what to do.
Have you found someone that could help you?
Well, there was an engine I met 20 years ago. She understands how I feel.
What was her name?
Thomas started explaining to Diesel about Lady, a magical engine who had been watching him throughout all of his adventures. He even explained that Lady loved Thomas. Diesel was surprised.
Does Emily know about this lady?
I tried to explain it to her, but she gets mad whenever I mention another engine's name, especially if it's female, and demands that I don't work with them. If I didn't, she'd threaten to leave.
Well then, Thomas, in my opinion, you shouldn't listen to her. You decide who you can work with, not her. I believe that you should be the bigger engine and tell her what you decide. She can't control you.
Thomas started thinking about it more, along with what Diesel had just said.
I may be devious, but I know you must take a stand. And if Emily wants to go back to you, tell her about Lady and how she cares about you more than her. Let her feel jealous because she could have been better at being a kind engine, but she'd lost that chance.
And he drove away.
She continues to believe you're a bad engine, then she's not the right engine to be around.
If Emily wants to go back to you, tell her about Lady and how she cares about you more than her.
They're right. I don't need to listen to her. I'm gonna be better than what she expected me to be. After all, I'm Thomas the Tank Engine, and Lady cares about me more. Diesel had smiled as he looked over to Thomas. Despite him not being so devious, he actually felt better that he helped out someone.
That's the silly Steamy I remember, so don't make me help you again.
The next day, Thomas was on his branch line run on his way to Farquhar. There was Emily. As Thomas puffed into the station, surprisingly, with a smile on his face. All right, I'm 3 minutes early, and right on time, and ahead of schedule. Oh, hello there, Emily. How are you doing this morning?
Well, I'm surprised you're happy, especially from yesterday. What changed?
Let's just say I found someone special. Someone who wants to be my special friend. That's why I'm so happy.
What? Someone else is gonna be your special friend?
Emily had actually forgot about Thomas saying that he was through with her. Why do you say it like that? Did you forget we weren't getting back together? Or am I sensing jealousy? Thomas knew Diesel's plan was working. Emily was starting to get jealous.
Yeah, right. I wasn't even planning to go back to you. You were just too full of excuses. I can find someone else better than you.
Secretly, Emily was a bit hurt. She didn't know that Thomas was serious about his breakup. Deep down, she wanted to go back, but decided to puff away instead. Thomas had done it. He had made Emily jealous. Diesel's plan worked. I can't believe that actually worked. I'll have to thank Diesel if I see him again. Feeling victorious, Thomas puffed away. Thomas's coaches, on the other hand, were not too pleased with him.
That's not like you at all, Thomas. You used to care about Emily. You never acted this way around her before. And since did you find another special friend? And why haven't you told us about her?
It doesn't matter, you two. She wanted to get back with me, and it would lead into a cycle. Nothing would be resolved, and she'd continue this fight. I'm not that gullible little steam engine she believes I am. I've changed my ways, and I won't be pushed around anymore by her. I'm free! Don't you see it? Though they agreed that Thomas was indeed free, but he didn't know disaster would be coming back, and it wouldn't be pleasant. The news of Thomas finding someone new was spreading faster like never before. Not long after, the whole island of Sodor knew about Thomas's new relationship. Everyone was surprised about the news. They were also glad that Thomas was now happy and no longer fearing the nightmare he had experienced a week ago. Some were surprised that it was no longer Emily. Some were even questioning who this secret special someone was that Thomas was now dating. Either way, they were glad to know that Thomas was no longer afraid to speak up and no longer afraid of being scared, and was now feeling a lot better. This was the start of a new future. Or so they thought.
That afternoon, Gordon and Henry were there at Napford Station, trying to figure out who Thomas's special friend really was. They were hoping if they remembered the special engine, and if they were a good choice for Thomas, just in case.
I'm probably guessing it's Molly. She does care for Thomas.
A wise guess, Gordon, but it wouldn't make sense. I'm debating it's Rosie. She's had a thing for Thomas since her first debut.
True, but now she sees Thomas as a friend. What about Mavis?
No, that wouldn't work. I think she's with Toby.
All right, I forgot that.
Just then, there was Emily, who was very cross and looked like she hadn't slept in days.
Good Lord, Emily, are you all right?
What are you talking about? I'm fine. Just perfectly fine, nothing to worry about.
Emily, you look like you haven't slept in days.
I said I'm fine. Can you just leave it at that?
Well, we don't think you're okay, so tell us what's bothering you.
You just get to your damn smoke box. I said I'm fine, okay? I don't care that Thomas met someone new. I'm happy that I don't need to listen to him complain and whine about his stupid problems.
And Emily leashed away angrily, leaving behind 3 speechless engines.
Oh my. What just happened?
I don't know, but there was something I noticed.
And what might that be, Henry?
She's jealous.
What gave you the idea?
Think about it for a minute. As she was yelling at us, she randomly brought up Thomas, but we didn't even mention him once when she got here.
Henry might be onto something. She even said she was done hearing Thomas complain and whine.
But Thomas hasn't complained or whined about anything.
Then, Stanley remembered something that Toby had said to him.
Wait, that makes sense.
What makes sense?
Toby told me a week ago, as I worked on Thomas's branch line while Thomas had a day off, that he kept having nightmares, and once her top hat came to see Thomas, Emily had his nightmare, a pack of lies, along with saying he shouldn't be complaining and whining over a silly little breakup.
Oh dear.
Well, at least Thomas is now better, and a good thing. Speak of the devil, here he comes.
That sounded like Alfred's whistle.
There, puffing into the station, was Thomas and Alfred, double-heading a goods train. They were glad they finished the job. The train they were pulling was very heavy.
Hey there, you two. Right on time with the goods train.
Indeed we are, though the trucks tried giving us trouble.
But we managed to show them who was in charge.
Splendid work, you two. The Fat Controller will be pleased about this.
We thought we heard someone screaming. Is everything alright?
Just Emily being jealous. She really believes that you, Thomas, made her suffer in the relationship.
Ha! Whatever. She can believe what she wants. She isn't my problem anymore. Good riddance on her. Everyone was surprised that Thomas would say something so mean about Emily.
Thomas, why would you say something like that?
Since when did you all care? All she's ever done is hurt me in the past.
That may be so, Thomas, but honestly, you telling her that she's no longer your concern, it's not like you.
I have to agree with Stanley. Besides, remember when I was like that too? Long ago when my sister Hazel was in the steamworks, and remember what you told me?
That was different, Alfred. Look, I just can't do it. It's hard to forgive her. I have to go. I'll see you all around later.
And Thomas puffed away to think about if he really could forgive Emily.
Oh, Thomas. Somewhere in your smoke box I know you can forgive her.
Thomas was puffing down his branch line to continue thinking if he could forgive Emily. It was difficult to do so because of everything she's done to him. It was hurting his head and making him feel more and more unforgivable. He decided to stop and ask for help. As he did stop, he stopped right by Terrence's field. There, coming back to his field, was Terrence the tractor.
Hello, Thomas. You don't look happy. What's on your mind?
Everything's on my mind with my breakup. They want me to forgive Emily, when it's hard for me.
I don't blame you. It can be difficult, but I believe you should go with whatever you decide.
This made Thomas smile a little. He knew Terrence was right. It was his decision whether to forgive Emily or not. But he needed more time to think. Thanks, Terrence. Oh, by the way, do you know where Lady is?
In the mine. She's waiting for you.
Thank you, Terrence.
You can do it, Thomas. I believe in you.
Hello, Thomas.
Oh, hello, Lady. What are you doing in the mines?
Unfortunately, there's nowhere I can hide, especially with Dieselton still around Sodor.
Well, I sort of understand why, but Dieselton can't go on branch lines. He's too big.
True, but I heard him 2 nights ago. He was around here. I don't remember where.
Yeah, I guess so. Lady could notice that Thomas wasn't himself. She was very worried for him.
Thomas, dear, are you okay? You're not your cheeky self.
It's Emily. She still thinks our breakup is all my fault and still blames me for it.
Well, I personally believe she can change. She has to see that for herself. You and I both know it's her choice. No one can persuade her. Just herself.
Thank you, Lady. I'm off to my shed. I'll see you in the morning. Good night.
Good night, Thomas.
Later that night, Emily was taking a night stroll. She was still thinking about Thomas and their breakup. She was hoping that Thomas would give her another chance, but she was worried.
I know it was mean, but I didn't think he'd go through this far to date another engine.
There, deciding to pull up next to Emily, was Diesel 10, with an evil plan.
Why, hello, Emily.
Hello, Diesel 10. What are you doing here? And what do you want?
Nothing much. I just want to talk. That's all, really.
Well, okay. I got some time to spare.
So, do you now know Thomas doesn't like you anymore?
What? He doesn't.
Oh no, he thinks you're the reason. Because of some silly little nightmare he had or something. I don't know.
Emily was slowly getting cross. But little did she know, she was about to make a terrible decision.
I don't care anymore. He thinks you're the reason he can't get over that stupid nightmare.
I see. Well, that doesn't matter to me. Let him spread his lies. I've some interesting news for you to hear.
Go on.
There we go. Now the trucks have been delivered. Huh? What are Diesel 10 and Emily talking about? I better stay quiet and listen.
As Toby was listening, Diesel 10's plan was set in motion.
What if I told you that I knew who Thomas's new girlfriend is?
Who?
Her name is Lady. She's a magical engine.
Where is she?
I only saw him with the lost magical engine, but unfortunately, she's nowhere in sight. But that's not important right now. You must be really jealous, am I right?
Deep in Emily's boiler, she was fuming and very cross. As she shouted the words Diesel 10 was looking for.
I want to destroy that engine!
Emily? Destroy Lady? I need to hear more about this.
Perfect idea, Emily. I know where she's going to.
No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going back to my shed and good night.
And she puffed away, leaving behind a shocked Diesel 10, but was now smiling.
It won't matter. Once that magic engine is gone, I will rule this railway and take over the Island of Sodor.
Toby was surprised by what he heard.
This isn't good. I have to warn Thomas.
And Toby pumped his pistons as he raced away to find Thomas and tell him the bad news that was going to happen to Lady. Unfortunately, he was asleep in his shed, just as Toby rushed into the berth next to him.
Thomas, we have bad news!
But Thomas wasn't listening. He was already asleep.
Oh no, I had arrived too late. Darn! I have to tell him in the morning.
And that's exactly what Toby did.
Oi, scrap truck, where are you?
Scruffy, I'm over here, loudmouth!
Ah, there you are. I found you. Listen, where's your little pal, the, holding back one?
Behind me.
He got a name?
He ain't got squat, but he prefers Dominic. Oi, Dominic!
Ugh, what on devil's back do you want, mate? It's 3 in the morning.
You remember I told you you'd meet someone special?
Yeah, what about it?
Greetings, Dominic. I am Diesel 10. Now pipe down and listen to me. I got a job for you both.
What kind of job?
If it's stupid, count me out of it.
Just relax, Dominic. My apologies. He hasn't been the same since the accident he had with Donald.
I see. Anyways, here's the plan.
Diesel 10 explained to Scruffy and Dominic that they were to be on Thomas's train for the morning run. Their jobs were to have Thomas be in a runaway train in which Lady would appear and save Thomas, but with a nasty crash that he would provide.
Sounds like a clever plan, but we have some requests to make.
They are?
We ain't gonna crash from this, right?
Ask whatever engine arranges his train and you got yourself a deal.
The two rolling stock agreed with Diesel 10's plan.
Excellent. Have fun.
Next morning, bright and early, Toby awoke to see that Thomas's shed was completely empty.
Percy, wake up! It's urgent!
What is it, Toby?
Where's Thomas? I need to tell something urgently.
He's getting a goods train ready and is gonna take it to the docks. Good morning, Ryan.
Oh, hello, Thomas.
I didn't know you worked in the yards.
Oh, well, Edward was away with another train, so Sir Topham Hatt asked me to take over.
Oh, I see. Is that my train to the docks?
It sure is. I advise be careful. They've been really troublesome since I got here.
Once Thomas was coupled up to his train, he puffed away, all the way to Brenham Docks. While Percy was still confused on why Toby needed to see Thomas urgently.
Why do you need to talk to Thomas? Is there something wrong?
Toby explained what he heard last night from Emily and Diesel 10 and what they were planning to do to destroy Thomas and destroy the railway. Percy was surprised by hearing this.
Oh my! If Diesel 10 finds Lady, we'll be doomed!
That's why I need to see Thomas. I have to warn him about this.
Just then, Emily pulled into the station platform. She had a flatbed of oil barrels that needed to be delivered to the coal yards for Mavis. Toby was ready to confront her about last night.
Hello, Emily.
You want tool shed?
I'm gonna go do some shunting. Bye.
What do you want?
I heard what you said last night, and you were being caught in a trap.
Can't change my mind, Toby. I've decided that magical engine will suffer.
Do you honestly hear yourself? You say you want to be better? You say that you were willing to make a difference. Thomas saw that in you, and now...
Doesn't matter anymore, okay? This isn't some Disney movie where you can sing a little song and make all troubles can just magically disappear. So...
Don't finish that sentence. That movie was outdated after 2018.
Point taken. But it doesn't make a difference. Besides, I turned down the offer, and so I'm in the clear.
Toby didn't necessarily agree with Emily's statement. He was going to say something when...
Was that Thomas' whistle?
It was, but why was he blowing his whistle loudly? Unless...
Help! I can't stop!
I turned down the offer, huh?
Oh, just shut up.
You still remember the plan?
Yeah, I do. Because a runaway which will cause that silly magic steamer to appear, and boom, an accident happened.
Good. Now let's put on the show.
Whoa! What was that? It looks like Thomas. And he's in danger. We have to help him.
Thomas's heavy train pushed him on and on. He tried to stop, but the train was too heavy for him. James! Edward! Please, help me!
Hang tight, Thomas. We're coming to help you.
Suddenly, Thomas heard a familiar whistle. Oh no! Just then, Lady appeared, out of nowhere. She was going to try and save Thomas. Lady, don't! It's too risky!
Don't, Thomas. I can help you.
What happened?
You and Lady crashed.
Wait, you knew her?
Yes, Thomas. I knew.
Is she at least okay?
I'm so sorry, Thomas.
Thomas's heart sank. There on the flatbed was Lady, faceless and not waking up. No! 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 After the wreckage was cleared, Thomas puffed around the island of Sodor with the flatbed that Lady was on. Tears were falling from his eyes, holding in the pain. Don't worry, Lady. Everything will be alright. I promise. As Thomas continued on his way, he stopped at a station where Sir Topham Hatt was standing. He was worried for Thomas.
Thomas! Are you okay? And who is this?
Sir, this is Lady, the magical engine I told you about. She was a special engine to me. She sacrificed herself for me.
Oh my. Don't you worry, Thomas. Our men at the repair works will fix her. Of course, this does ruin my surprise for you.
Surprise? Sir Topham had explained that Lady would be a permanent asset to the railway as a gift from Burnett Stone and Lily, as a thank you for helping the Magic Railroad get to its full strength and full power.
So I made sure that you would have a day off when I came to see you.
Thomas was smiling as the tears flew from his eyes. He was glad for their gift, but was still hurting that he failed to protect the caretaker of the Magic Railroad.
Don't feel like you failed, Thomas. Take her to the repair yards and they will repair her.
Yes, sir.
That's it. All according to plan.
What? The clothing fail was that?
What was what? Since you wouldn't do the dirty deed. I left some fuel tankers behind the lost engine so she'd blow up and lose her power.
You mad? Someone could have been killed.
Someone did. The lost engine.
What have I done?
Thomas was on his way with Lady to the repair yards, puffing down the line. Lady, I don't know if you can hear me, but I want to say thank you for saving me. But you didn't have to sacrifice yourself. We would have found another way to stop that train. I feel as if I failed you. If I hadn't had my accident, you wouldn't be... No, I refuse to believe that. You just need repairs. Just then, Toby and Emily puffed next to Thomas. They were both worried and scared.
Thomas, we need to talk to you.
Why? What's going on?
Diesel 10 is coming for you and Lady.
Accident was his idea, and he blamed it on me.
How exactly am I supposed to trust you, Emily? You've hurt me more times than Gordon. I know everyone's telling me to forgive you, Emily, but it's just hard for me.
What would Lady tell you?
Suddenly, Thomas stopped out of nowhere and just started to look at Lady.
Thomas?
Thomas was silent, causing Emily and Toby to worry, until he finally spoke. I guess she would say to forgive and forget. Despite the pain,
They put you through.
Then that's your answer, Thomas.
I guess I can try to forgive. For Lady's sake.
Not if I get rid of her first, puffball! Ha ha ha!
No!
Run, Thomas! Run!
Leave him alone, Diesel 10!
Not till I have my revenge. 20 years of fearing the magic of shining time. 20 flipping years! No longer. This time she will be finished!
Now the chase was on. Thomas was driving as fast as his wheels would let him.
Don't worry, lady. I'll protect you from Diesel 10.
Suddenly, Thomas made it to Wellsworth and uncoupled from Lady, puffing away to fight Diesel 10 head-on. Both engines were staring at each other, eye to eye. What is your problem? What did I ever do to you?
You've done nothing but ruin my plans. That lost engine is also a part of everything that's happening. Ever since you arrived 20 years ago, I've wanted this railway gone. Even knowing about your stupid little Heartbreak was part of it. But here you still are, in one piece, and still fighting.
Thomas's eyes widened as he heard Diesel 10 write about Emily's choice in engines and how their breakup was because of him. Then, out of nowhere, it happened.
What have you got to keep fighting for? Whoa! Thomas! What are you doing?
You've heard the Island of Sodor and the engines running on it for the last time. Now it's time that you pay the price for it, Diesel 10.
Thomas, stop!
Why? All he's done is hurt the railway and cause much mischief on this island. He must pay for his crimes.
Don't do this! This isn't you!
He's played us for fools and made you believe I was a selfish engine, Emily. How exactly can you forgive him?
The same way you can forgive me.
Thomas, deep down, wanted to drop Diesel 10 into the viaduct and into the muddy marsh, but he also knew Emily was right.
Please, Thomas, look inside yourself. I'll confess everything I did. I'll do whatever you say. Just don't do this. Please, spare me. I beg you.
Thomas could see Diesel 10 really meant what he said, but he still wasn't sure what to do.
I would want you to forgive Diesel 10, but this is up to you.
There was a long silence as Thomas was thinking deep down about the choice to make. It was difficult for him, but Thomas came up with that choice that even scared the all-evil Diesel 10. Toby, go get the breakdown train.
What?
You heard me. Now go get it. I can't hold Diesel 10 for much longer.
Thank you, Thomas. Thank you.
Once Toby had brought the breakdown train, they lifted Diesel 10 and placed him onto the rails. There, waiting for him, was Sir Topham Hatt.
Diesel 10! What gave you the idea to trick Emily in thinking Thomas was a selfish engine? All my engines are caring to one another, despite their actions that they do!
Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. I guess I'll stay in my shed for a while now, sir.
And Thomas, I understand that... Where did Thomas go?
He went to take Lady to the repair yards.
Thomas was waiting next to Lady. It was getting late, and the workman said that Thomas could go home to his shed. Unfortunately, Thomas was already asleep. It was next morning, as Thomas was still asleep in the repair yards.
Good morning, Thomas.
Good morning, Lady. Lady! You're okay!
Yep. All it takes is special code.
Just then, Percy, Toby, and Emily came to check on Thomas.
Hello there. I see you're doing well, lady.
Thank you, Percy.
I'm glad you are now okay.
Hey, Emily? I forgive you.
Emily gave a light-hearted smile.
Well done, Thomas.
Meanwhile, Sir Topham Hatt had gathered some of his engines to Knapford.
We are gathered here today to welcome a new member of the Island of Sodor. They help us through keeping the railway peaceful and help Thomas after he had a terrible accident. Please welcome Lady the Magical Engine!
They're so perfect for each other.
I think so too, Percy.
We have some great adventures to tell.
Things will certainly be different with Lady around.
Only time will tell, James.
That may be true, but in this case, I think Lady is the cure to Thomas's heartbreak.
Ready to be a really useful engine, lady?
I'm ready, Thomas.
Haha, I've finally done it. I've got rid of all the buffers. Nothing can stop me now.
Ah, damn it, George!
Whoops.
It's Thomas the Tank Engine, hip 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 hooray. Chugga chugga chug chug chuff chuff chuff, he rides along the way. And when you hear that whistle, it can only be one train. Our favorite little engine, Thomas is his name. Thomas the Tank Engine rolling along. All of his friends will be coming along. Thomas, we love you. He's a really useful engine with a heart that's big and strong. He chugga chugga chuff chuffs, working hard, helping everyone. Thomas, he has lots of friends, and you can be one too. Just clap, clap, clap and sing along. Thomas, we love you. Thomas the Tank Engine rolling along. All of his friends will be coming along. Thomas, we love you. There's Gordon and Henry, Edward, James and Toby, Annie and Clarabelle. Don't forget Percy, Terence and Bertie, Diesel, Duck and Daisy. Lots more friends for you. He's always up to mischief, that cheeky little train. He chugga chuff chuffs everywhere, he's always playing games. The fat controller scolds him, but he loves him just the same. Our favorite little engine, Thomas is his name. Thomas the Tank Engine rolling along. All of his friends will be coming along. Thomas, we love you. Thomas the Tank Engine's rolling along. All of his friends will be coming along. Thomas, we love you. Thomas, we love you. Thomas, we love you.
Thomas, I really think you should.
Should be better off dead? Well then, go ahead, Alfred. I couldn't care less.
But that wasn't what I was gonna say. I
Want to dispose of
Hey,
me
Dodge.
with thousands of explosive
Yeah, what's up,
things?
Splatter?
Your
Well,
words
wait, what are you watching? Some fan-made movie about that B-12, and apparently Thomas acted like a jerk. Jeez, that's just cruel. What monster would do that? Pretty sure you answered your own question. Anyway, what did you want to tell me? Oh, right. Well, I wanted to let you know that the boss is coming, and he doesn't look happy. Should we go? I think so.
That puff bull has gotten in my way once again. Why can't I just get rid of him in that magic engine?
Because you're thinking with your pride and not your wrong.
And who are you?
You can call me Loki. And I have a perfect idea.